Heartbreak confirmed. Shakira breaks down as Ryan's diagnosis shatters their world. There are moments in life when time doesn't just slow, it splinters. When the world you once knew rearranges itself in a way you never asked for and never imagined. For Shakira and her family, that moment arrived quietly, almost deceptively, before it roared into a storm that changed everything. It began with small things easy to laugh off at first. Ryan stumbling over a sentence mid-conversation, misplacing his glasses again, third time before breakfast, pausing in the middle of a thought as if the thread snapped somewhere inside him. Shakira noticed, of course. The kids noticed in their own gentle ways. But in busy households, especially in families where careers demand constant movement, these little shifts are easy to chalk up to exhaustion, stress, or simply one of those days. But then Ryan stopped finishing his meals. He grew tired by late afternoon. He slept more, spoke less, and suddenly the jokes disappeared. The excuses fell flat. A quiet dread settled over the house. The tests were supposed to be routine, just to rule things out, the doctor had said. But nothing prepared them for the verdict. The word cancer didn't arrive like a sentence. It arrived like a wound, slow at first, then deepening with every breath. Shakira described the moment as watching a fragile object placed on a table made of glass. One wrong move, one wrong word, and everything would shatter. The oncologist's tone was calm, practiced, heartbreakingly gentle. The malignancy had progressed faster than they hoped. It was aggressive. It required immediate intervention. Shakira's world tilted. Ryan nodded slowly, absorbing the news with a softness that felt both brave and unreal. "Understood," he said quietly. The word felt too small for what it held. She reached for his hand. He squeezed back, and that was how the longest week of their lives began. The hospital days that felt like years. Ryan was admitted. It felt abrupt, almost rude in its urgency. One moment they were discussing a script, a family dinner, the cat clawing the sofa again. The next, they were thrust into a fluorescent reality where fear doesn't wait its turn. The standard unit became their new landscape. The sterile smell, the hum of machines, the shuffle of nurses whose faces Shakira memorized by name and shift. She asked every question twice. She took meticulous notes. She studied lab numbers like a language she couldn't afford to mispronounce. Doctors discussed chemotherapies, targeted therapies, palliative considerations. They offered possibilities, not promises, hope but not certainty. The future was suddenly a diagram of percentages instead of a path. Through it all, Shakira tried to be an anchor, tried to stay upright. But even anchors erode under storms. A family rearranging its heartbeat. Their children, Sasha, Milan, and Tristan, responded with a maturity that simultaneously warmed and shattered Shakira's heart. Milan rearranged his commitments so he could sit in hospital lounges with textbooks. Tristan drafted long lists of questions to ask doctors and pressed them into Shakira's palm like small spells meant to protect his father. Sasha managed the house, the calls, the endless coordination no one ever prepares for. They were a family trying desperately to stay whole while the world demanded pieces from them. The public storm they never asked for. News travels fast. Pain travels faster, especially when the world believes it owns a piece of your life. Within hours, the press gathered outside the hospital. Photographers camped by the entrance. Headlines speculated wildly. Online commentary filled with concern, judgment, curiosity, and cruelty. When a photo of Shakira leaving the hospital, eyes red, head lowered, circulated the next morning, the story exploded. Shakira falls apart in shock. Ryan's condition worsens. family in crisis. It didn't matter that the family had released a carefully worded statement asking for privacy. Requests for compassion often fall flat against the appetite for spectacle. They were living two realities at once: the quiet, suffocating fear inside a hospital room, and the loud, intrusive chaos of the world outside it. The night everything escalated. On the third night, Ryan's condition plummeted. His fever spiked, his blood pressure crashed. Machines that once hummed gently erupted into alarms. Shakira watched the medical team swarm around him with urgent precision, movements rehearsed but never impersonal. Someone called out numbers, another adjusted an IV, someone else placed a reassuring hand on Shakira's shoulder before rushing back into the coordinated storm. Ryan was transferred to the ICU. The ICU has its own emotional architecture: glass walls, dim lights, a rhythm that blurs days into nights. Machines breathing for those too weak to do it alone. The doctors explained a secondary infection, organ stress, complications that can cascade unpredictably. They promised action, not outcomes. Shakira's collapse, the moment that revealed everything. By the fourth day, Shakira had been sleeping in fragments, eating in fragments, existing in fragments. She stepped into a quiet hallway to take a call from a medical consultant she trusted. She was in the middle of writing down yet another list of instructions when the dizziness hit her like a wave. The floor rose, the lights tilted. She collapsed onto the hospital's linoleum, the phone clattering beside her. A nurse caught her arm, calling for help. IV fluids, monitoring, contact her children, keep her awake. It wasn't a dramatic fall. It wasn't a faint in a movie. It was pure exhaustion, the body saying no more. The next morning, a photo of Shakira being helped into an ambulance made headlines worldwide. Some offered sympathy, some criticized, some demanded more information. The world forgets that collapse doesn't always mean weakness. Sometimes it means a person has been strong for too long. The fight continues, quietly, fiercely, together. Inside the ICU, time was measured in test results and medication cycles. Doctors debated protocols. Nurses adjusted lines and monitors. Shakira wrote small notes she tucked into Ryan's belongings, memories, jokes, reminders of normal life waiting beyond the sickness. These tiny acts became her rebellion against despair. This is what love looks like when stripped of glamour and spotlight. Just two people fighting, breath by breath, against the darkness trying to consume their world.